Hip-hop culture has had a dramatic effect on African Americans since the late 1970s. Once thought of as a fad, hip-hop music has shown its staying power with over 30 years and counting of material. With the decline of disco on the horizon, hip-hop as a genre grew out of the poor, struggling borough of the Bronx, New York in the late 1970s. With artists such as the Sugar Hill Gang, Afrika Bambaataa, and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, the culture itself had the soundtrack to go along with DJing, breakdancing, and graffiti art.
We were at a party. It was a house party back in the day, years ago. And back then, it was basically disco, it was house music, it was rock and roll. And so we were at a party downstairs in somebody's basement, just a regular house party. And the song came on, Good Times. And it was made by Lashik or somebody like that. And just a regular song, good time. And all of a sudden, we heard someone talking over it. And turned out it was the Sugar Hill Gang. They had did a remix on Good Times. They had sampled it, and everybody's like, "Oh, what is this?" And that was like the first time that we actually heard on the record hip hop, and it was on. It took over from then, and that was like my first experience with hip hop. There was so many of them, but early on, you would have to say, Kurtis Blow was a consummate performer. I mean, he was a pure rapper.
It was Grandmaster Flash.
Grandmaster Flash, Furious Five.
Queen Latifah. Tupac songs.
Afrika Bambaataa.
The Sugar Hill Gang. Yeah, I was always like conscious of Tupac. For some reason, like his voice always got my attention.
Defeat is not my destiny, release me to the streets, but keep whatever's left of me. Jealousy is envy, it's suffering is greed. Better be prepared when you cowards bust at me.
Then of course, Run DMC.
Run DMC?
They set the whole stage. They changed the whole thing. They had the most impact.
I guess when I heard hip hop I was about 12, 13. I was always like listening to it because my mom, she was always bumping the songs. I was always with my dad. The music sound good. The partying. Yeah, the beats and the patterns and the lyrics and the creativity. I have to say the breakdancing. That was something different. In my time.
As the culture passed from one generation to the next, so did the music. Now more than ever, the MC had the biggest role in hip-hop, with the other aspects of the culture, DJing and producing, breakdancing, and graffiti, taking the back seat to the now billion-dollar industry that became hip-hop music.
It's on the downhill slope. Yeah, I mean it's heading down. Things tend to climb and the plateau and then decline. And I think it's on the decline. I don't know unless somebody come out and really change the game and come in with something that's more uplifting and universal. I don't know, but then I'm older now, so.
It's good. Like, people say he always got his up and downs and stuff. Nah, hip-hop's never passed its prime. It's always going to keep growing. Like, it doesn't got a limit to it. Because it's so many new artists coming out. Like, now you got Drake.
Quit fronting on me, don't come around and try and gas me up. I like running on E.I.
Soon you're going to have somebody else. Like, it's always a breath of fresh air. Like I said, people look at some of it as a gangster situation. It's not. It's music. Any kind of music you listen to is music. You listen to country, you listen to jazz, any other that music, everybody has an opinion to it. Everybody's going to still have an opinion to it. I think, it has a little bit got out of hand when they started out. In my day, they didn't use all that language. They might have said a little bit, but not as much as it was coming up now. This is going to the 2000s. now they're starting to switch over. It's starting to come back where there's not a whole lot of, they're saying hoes, bitches, and whatever the situation is, and all the other words. Excuse my language, but that's, now it's starting to come more smooth.
Bring it back up to the north where we can at least understand what they're saying. You know, all that other ignorant buffoonery and stuff they got out there. I ain't with that.
Hip-hop is a good thing. Hip-hop can improve and make our culture a little bit better down the future. You know, people will listen to it, which they listen to now, but more people will actually look at it as a better and positive thing that these people are doing out here.
I would lie to you if I knew what I see in hip-hop in the future, like, because it's growing in type of directions where you ain't, stuff just come out of nowhere, like, oh, the internet is taking over, oh, like, maybe one day hip-hop is going to have some, like, national theme song for, like, the Pledge of Allegiance, some type of version where it's beatboxing. Feel me? So, you never know. Hip-hop just might sneak on you, one way or the other.
From one generation to the next, hip-hop has affected so many lives in the African American community. Through the real life story of everyday African Americans, you can see that hip-hop culture is more than just unimportant entertainment. It affects people's style, mind frame, and social life. 3 generations have been able to experience hip-hop, and many more generations will be able to in the future. This project was created to show the importance of hip-hop culture and the music that grew from it. Hip-hop has shaped the African American community, whether people like it or not. It has had its negative aspects, but with the negative, I see the positive aspects as well. Jobs have been created and careers have been jump-started through hip-hop for many African Americans who probably without hip-hop wouldn't have the same success or opportunities. Hip-hop is my culture and it's your culture as well, and it means different things for different people, but the most important point is that it means something, and that's what matters most.